What up? What up? Episode 23. Welcome back to the Honesty Bar Podcast with your host, Karla. If you're new here, make sure you hit a like on this video and you subscribe. I'm going to drop all of our social medias on the description, but you already know WoahKarlaWoah on Insta, the Honesty Bar Podcast, and Sweet Hustle LLC. If you need any treats, any type of desserts for birthdays, baby showers, etc., you know where to hit me up. Before we start the episode, I definitely am so excited to shout out our first sponsor, which is State Farm, y'all. The Mike Lucas office on the west side of Aurora, located at 821 West Illinois Avenue. They're gonna actually be sponsoring this episode by my girl Estefani Sandoval. So if you guys need any auto, any life insurance, any homeowners quotes, definitely make sure you hit them up. Why not be insured by the best? Y'all already be driving crazy out here. Make sure if you hit somebody, your claim is gonna go through quick. Don't be fucking with them bogus ass insurances, y'all. It's a waste of time. Invest your money where it's important. Life insurance, please hit up my girl Estefani. She's a fully licensed agent and she's willing to help through whatever, so make sure you hit her up. Also, I was gonna say I'm gonna put her information in the description below how to contact her. But if you guys are in Aurora, Illinois, this Sunday she's actually gonna be at La Sierra, which if you're not in Aurora and if you're from Illinois, from the outskirts or close enough, it's a banquet hall and they're actually going to be doing a kermesse. If you don't know what a kermesse is, it's basically like where they raise funds, van a recaudar fondos. Usually it's for a good cause. In this case, I believe they're doing it for someone's medical bills and they're going to send the money to Mexico. So I think No Terreno is going to be there. There's going to be hella DJs, food, bring the family out. I know, like I said, Stephanie's going to be there. So it's happening with her. I don't think she's going to be doing quotes that day, but you can definitely get her business card and then, reach out to her, then let her know I sent you. Once we got that out the way, what a fucking week. If you're here for real listening again, I really do want to thank you. We're trying something a little different today. I know y'all are probably like, why is this bitch in the dark? I have LED lights in my room. And in particular, I always have them in pink. And right now, when I was about to start recording, I was like, I might as well leave it like that. It's kind of cute, until I get my little scenery back here. Because I already ordered the stuff. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to decorate. It's just going to be cute in the back, So I was like, let me just leave it on. If it's too dark, I'm sorry, y'all. I really am sorry. But hopefully I can still post some reels or whatever for you guys. Just to get started, speaking of reels, speaking of videos, Biden, what's up, dude? It's getting really hard to have your back out here when you're doing goofy shit. It's official, y'all. Biden definitely signed the national security package to ban TikTok. If you didn't know, now you know. Hopefully this episode will be out by Thursday. But yeah, as of Tuesday or Wednesday this week, April 22nd or 23rd, he signed the bill, which basically states that TikTok is going to be banned in the US. I had to really do my research and ask or look up why this was happening, because I'm one of those people that I love TikTok. TikTok for everything. Food recipes. If I don't know how to do something, shit, I found out through the TikTok ban through the TikTok. I was scrolling and I saw and I was like, this cannot be real. It was a real thing. When people have certified pages that has the little blue check, it was definitely a CBS News clip. So I was like, this is really happening. I had to really see why it was. I didn't know if it was because of child restrictions, maybe I don't know. Maybe it was a negative influence on the American culture. I don't know. So I started looking it up, right? Tell me why they said that they felt like it was a threat to the U.S. security, national security, because they believe that China can gain access to our accounts and eventually spy on us. Do they not know that there's Instagram and Facebook? I had to really like, I'm not gonna lie, this was a big thing for me because like I said, I use TikTok for everything. I'm one of those people that, and I don't know if you're listening and you one of these people, look, shout out to you, twin, where have you been? I love ASMR. If you don't know what ASMR is, it's like when the people like talk in the mics and then they be like, like, when like they whisper and like they do like the triggers, like like those little noises. I fall asleep to that shit. I'm the type of person that I need noise. I need like something to make me fall asleep, like I am not the one that's gonna just go to sleep in the dark with no TV on or nothing. Like, no, I'm not that type of person. If anything, like that gives me anxiety and I cannot go to sleep. Like I start overthinking shit, So at nighttime, and I was gonna say that too, like people make a living off the shit. Like you've seen people start being like full-time content creators or uploading their, putting shit out there and they're gaining views and TikTok pays good and all that stuff. So people at nighttime go on live, and specifically this lady ASMR Ann I listen to almost every night except like certain days out the weekend that she's not, on. They go on live every night and people can pay them with like the gifts, and like you can send them roses and that equals to money, and like people really make a living off that shit. I mean, I personally have never paid for it. I just watch people pay for it because I'm just there for the noises, but some people like actually like really really like support them, and I'm gonna be really upset if I can't go to sleep with my damn ASMR. TikTok shop got me in a chokehold, which I don't think that's really anything negative, but I can see, where the sentence coming from. But then I started thinking about, like I said, like I felt like Instagram was a bigger app. I felt like Facebook was a bigger app, especially Facebook. I feel like it's way more personal. Facebook is one of those apps where like you're like putting your name and then you have like mutual friends and then you put like where you're from, what high school you went to, if you wanted to share that information, when your birthday was. Like it's a more personal social media page versus TikTok. When you make an account on TikTok, it automatically gives you like a user 0092782 or whatever until you actually decide to like upload a profile picture or like your username. You can change all that stuff on there. And Facebook, while you're making your account, of course you can make up some goofy name, but 9 times out of 10 it's asking you first name last name type thing, and I'm just like, why wouldn't you guys wanna ban Instagram or Facebook? I don't know, I just thought it was really weird. I think it's gonna be really upsetting if that does happen. Now for those people wondering, TikTok is not going to just disappear from your phone anytime soon. If I'm not mistaken, from Biden signing this bill or law, it basically stated that the parent company ByteDance that owns TikTok has to sell the app within a 9-month period, which would extend it till about January of 2025. So within that time frame, they have to sell the app. And look, I'm not gonna lie, the app is 84 billion. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna buy it, So they have that 9-month time frame, and if they don't sell it within that time frame, the app for sure is gonna disappear. Like for sure gonna disappear. If at the time they have a buyer close to that 9-month period, they can extend it to 12 months, but that's as far as it'll go, just in case they do have a buyer to be able to take on the app or whatever, and then if they don't, after the 12-month period, for sure, like it's gonna be gone. So I just think it's really sad. Like TikTok really got us through some shit, got us through COVID, like all the TikTok dances. Like I don't know, I just really enjoy that app. It's really upsetting. So, man, at this point, it's fuck Biden. But I'm very much a Democrat. We're not going to get into politics right now. Another thing that happened, I just feel like Megan Thee Stallion cannot get away from the fucking allegations and the bullshit. Recently this week, or the past week, if you haven't seen, Emilio Garcia, Megan Thee Stallion's former photographer, was suing her for alleged sexual harassment. So, long story short, he was working for Megan Thee Stallion between the years of 2019 through 2023. So he was basically there with her since the beginning. 2019 is when she really started popping off. She had already had a little clout because she was dating Moneybagg Yo, but then, she eventually started making her music, etc., etc. And, he was working with her through that time. I guess in 2022, they had took a trip to Spain, and they had a night out, whatever. While they were going back to the hotel, he ended up riding in a van with her and another woman. He proceeded to explain that within the time in the van, him, Megan Thee Stallion, or whatever, the girl and Megan Thee Stallion started having intercourse. They were having sex, and he just kind of said, he just felt really uncomfortable. Like, he kind of froze up. He was shocked. Not that she forced him to watch it, but it's just kind of like, I'm painting the scenario in my head as I'm reading the article. I'm kind of imagining it and how it would be, if I'm in a van. I'm thinking of like one of those like creeper vans, maybe you can hear them behind you. Maybe they were in front of you and you're seeing it. Like, there's only so many ways that you can look away. You're not going to just be like covering your eyes. I don't know. But, he's been getting a lot of lashback and clapbacks on social media for him, kind of like accusing her of it. Saying like, how can you as a man be disgusted or like feel some type of way from two women having sex? Like, if anything, like that should turn you on. Which, people were saying like, oh, he's got to be gay. Regardless if he's gay or not, I completely understand. I would feel uncomfortable with some type of situation like that too. Regardless if we're cool or not, if you're my boss or whatever, and I just see you doing some shit like that, of course you're gonna feel uncomfortable, So I guess he kind of like brushed it under the rug. And the next day, Megan Thee Stallion came to him and she was like, hey, whatever happened yesterday, don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. Don't ever mention it to anyone. And he was just kind of like, okay. I mean, what is he going to do at that point? I'm pretty sure with the clout that she had, her growing, the job that she had, he was probably just kind of like, am I really going to let go of everything that I worked hard for these last couple years just for maybe she was drunk or, something that she did. So he continues to say that when they came back from the trip, she just started acting really weird towards him. He went from getting like a flat monthly rate of pay to just getting paid by the job. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to pay you, I don't know, maybe $30K. I don't know how much they make. And then all of a sudden now he's, just getting paid, whatever. So it kind of just went on like that for a little bit up until June of 2023. Megan Thee Stallion had an event and he was supposed to go and be the photographer. Roc Nation reached out to him that day and they were like, hey man, basically they told him your services are no longer needed. So that upset him. I don't know why it took so long for him to come out and kind of bring it up now. It's almost June of 2024 and this happened in June of 2023. I don't know if he had already been working with a lawyer, kind of getting all the facts together before they actually went and came out in public and brought that shit out, but I don't know. I just feel like, damn, Megan, like another, like you just got done with the whole Tory Lane shit. And now it's like people are like, I don't know. I just feel like she wilding out. I fuck with her though. Like I fuck with Megan, but I don't know. That shit's crazy. Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer did speak out, and he did mention that the allegations that Emilio Garcia was throwing against her were simply just a matter of trying to embarrass her, and that they're actually going to deal with the facts in court. So we'll be tuned into that and see what happens with that. I mean, before I get into the Drake and the Pluto and Metro beef, what's up with Chris Brown and Quavo, y'all? What's really going on? I had to see if there was some new beef that happened or if this was just like old beef that resurfaced, and I was absolutely 100% right. If you don't know, back in the day, you know, Chris Brown used to date Karrueche, and shortly after that, Quavo started dating her. Well, Chris Brown is usually very much notoriously known for dating a woman, and then after they break up, he's very much like, I don't want to say possessive, but he's very much like, nah, you ain't about to date my bitch. I'm, you know, like, he has that type of persona. Especially if you my man's, like, you're not gonna date my bitch, you know. So Quavo was, you know, they were cool at that time, and long story short, he started, you know, fuck around with Karrueche. They were public. I don't think it was ever long term from what I remember, but that's where, you know, the beef started. This was years ago when Chris Brown was, you know, still dealing with Karrueche. So, you know, that happened. Fast forward to a couple months ago, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, Paris Fashion Week. Pictures, videos come out of Quavo and Chris Brown sitting near each other. And, you know, people on social media started coming to Chris Brown like, yeah, bro, that's what's up. You know, growth, man. Like, you know, you can never fall out with your bro over a bitch. Like, you know, kudos to you. That's what's up. And Chris Brown went back on the media and he was like, what you talking about? Like, ain't no motherfucking growth. Like, the beef is very much still there. I'm just not about to let dude fuck up my bag, because obviously, you know, during that time, a lot of those celebrities get paid for coming or, you know, just like being there. Maybe they're doing appearances. So obviously, you know, maybe Chris Brown was getting paid to be there. And I, you know, when him saying that in public and just like on social media, it got back to Quavo. Quavo felt some type of way. He's already dissed him a couple times. Chris Brown has dissed him a couple times. But then Quavo came back and dropped a weak ass diss. Now, I don't want to pick sides because I fuck with Quavo. I fuck with Amigos. Chris Brown, like, he was probably one of my first like childhood crushes, you know. So I really don't want to take sides within this beef. But Quavo, you definitely could have kept that weak ass diss. It was very much a 3 out of 10, a strong 3 out of 10 for me. And even the only reason why you're even getting a 3 is because 3 for effort, 3 for motherfucking effort. You did what you had to do. You did what you had to do. I know that you was probably like, man, I can't stay silent, but I mean, sometimes silence is the best. But the real beef, the real reason why we're here, because if you follow me on social media, I mean, did you think I wasn't going to come on here and talk my shit as a fellow Drake fan? I mean, you see the chain. Let me show you. I hope you can see it. So last December, around Christmas time, like, I really wanted like a little owl pendant. And I sent my idea to my cousin, which my family owns a jewelry store, Delgado Jewelry in Joliet. Definitely go ahead and check them out. I sent him the picture of the little owl that I wanted, and he snapped. Like, I love it. I freaking love it. He did such a good job. And I mean, what can I say? It's OVO against everybody. So I'm pretty sure, you know, if you haven't, it's very much a lot of beef going on against Drake. I mean, he said it himself. Is it a 20 versus 1? Like, what's up? What's really going on? I guess the whole thing really started with Metro and Future. They put out an album a couple weeks ago called We Don't Trust You, and then they dropped the second one. Or I don't even know if they dropped it already or if they didn't. We Still Don't Trust You. But in the first album, there was a song, and it was called Like That. And basically, like, in the song, they recruited Kendrick. Like, everybody on social media is saying it, but they absolutely did. They recruited Kendrick to come on the song and diss J. Cole and Drake on their first person shooter, you know, like, and all this other shit, like talking about fuck the big three, it's just big me, you know, because they were kind of saying like J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick is just kind of like, you know, the monumental of like top 3 rappers right now, whatever, you know. So I think they recruited him too, because not once yet, obviously, Metro, how are you gonna diss Drake for one? What the fuck you gonna do? Play a beat? For number 2, Future hasn't came out personally and diss Drake. You know, it's only been Kendrick. So I've been kind of trying to see like where the beef started with Drake and Future. It's really unfortunate because I love the music that they make. Everybody knows the album What a Time to Be Alive. It It was one of the fucking hottest albums that dropped that year. I want to say it was 2015 when it did. It was one of the hottest albums. I mean, anytime Drake and Future drop, it's hot. They never miss, you know? And, you know, long story short, there's a lot of theories, but one of the theories, which I don't think that this is what it was mainly, but it definitely had something to do with it. So there's a famous strip club in Miami called Booby Trap. And, you know, it's just known for having, you know, the baddest bitches. They got hella eaters, whatever, you know. And a girl around that time, you know, when all this shit was going on, went on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And she was just kind of like, oh my God, Drake and Future, they're beefing over this girl Amber at Booby Trap. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, do you know how much fucking dick we eat in here? And she got a man. Like, be fucking for real, you know? I don't think it was necessarily them beefing over her. I think it was definitely like a he said, she said situation, you know? I mean, you got to think about it. They're both like really big rappers. They're really big artists. And sometimes ego can, you know, play a part. Maybe you know, they were very much like throwing little jabs, talking a little shit on the side, and then, you know, maybe it went on some he said, she said. Like, she probably went back to so and so and said, oh well, you know, so and so said this, you know. So I think that's where it kind of surfaced, and it definitely like hurt people's egos, I should say. But I mean, everyone knows from 2019 all the way up until 2022, there was a lot of like teases of What a Time to Be Alive 2 for Drake and Future to drop the second album of that. I was really looking forward to it. I really hope that one day they can make amends and they could drop that, because it was really a good album. But you know, I went from 2019 to 2020, 2021, nothing happened. Then 2022, Drake came out with Her Loss, which, if you don't know, it was literally a joint album with 21 Savage. Following that, he went on tour. He did a whole tour with 21 Savage. It was headlining them too, you know. So he did the tour with 21 Savage. And by the way, it was so fucking fun. I went last year for my birthday in July when he came out here to Chicago. It was literally the first leg of his tours. And it was probably one of the best days of my life, other than, you know, when I was giving birth to my son, obviously. But it was, oh my God, I just could not believe how close I was to Drake. I couldn't believe that I was actually seeing him in person. It was so much fucking fun. So I don't know. It was a good tour. So, you know, they did that. They did the whole tour. And I think, you know, from what people are saying, obviously, you know, Future got mad that they had been pushing this fucking album out. Something must have happened. And then he goes and kind of does it on some, from what I'm thinking, he probably does it on some, hey bro, like, this shit don't stop. Like, either, you know, we gonna do it or we're not, but this joint album's gonna happen. So I don't know exactly what happened with that. I wish I knew. Like, I wish some of these things, like, I knew, except for them, like, just like beefing and like dissing each other, like, you know, which some of these diss tracks are fire. I'm not gonna lie, but I wish that they would like hit us with the facts and just kind of tell us like, no, this is what happened, you know. So Nori from Drink Champs did confirm though that he was saying that Future was upset over the album, and Future was already like sending shots at him like in certain songs, blah blah blah, whatever. A lot of fans were upset, you know, like I mentioned, that they had recruited Kendrick in a way to kind of like diss him. So I kind of feel the same way. After, you know, that kind of surfaced, I don't even know where Rick Ross came from. Like, I really don't. Which, another thing that makes me upset. A lot of these artists that are beefing with Drake, it sucks because they have good music with them. Aston Martin Music, Diced Pineapples, Made Men. All those songs that he did with Rick Ross are fucking fire. Like, I still play them till this day. Old songs, you know, those are timeless songs, timeless music. And Rick Ross started coming on the internet talking shit about Drake, saying that he got a BBL because he got his abs done, that a lot of the shit, the weird shit, you know, the clothes that he was wearing during tour, he was wearing them because he doesn't have the abs no more. He started saying that he got a nose job, you know. Then Drake went and posted screenshots of him and his mom kind of talking, and she's like, Aubrey, like, did you get a nose job? You didn't look different to me this morning, like, you know, whatever. And Drake's like, ma, trust me, like, if I was supposed to get a nose job, I would have gotten a 2-for-1. You know, like I didn't get no fucking nose job. Don't listen to these fucking dumbasses. Whatever. So then Rick Ross came out with a diss track, Champagne Moments. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. Good song. Solid 6.5, Rick. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The fact that you went on the song and said that I let you get on my song because it was good for your face. I don't know what you're insinuating. Are you insinuating that you kind of gave Drake that platform? I understand it. Maybe they were his songs, but let's be fucking for real. A lot of the songs that he did, he had already had projects out. Drake already had his own wave. You know, and I'm not here, you know, as a Drake artist, like I mentioned, like, of course I'm gonna rock with him. Y'all see the chain, you know, like I am a huge Drake fan, but let's just speak on the facts. I love Rick Ross, the whole Maybach music, Meek Mill, everything, like I do, but I also I don't think being on Rick Ross songs was a good, like it was good for Drake. If anything, it helped Rick Ross. Respectfully, you know, Rick Ross has been in the game longer than Drake. Everyone knows that, you know, and the effect that Drake had when he came in the game and him featuring in all these people's songs, it never missed. If you like, I wish like I had someone here so they could kind of like, you know, have this conversation with me, but like I said, comment in the comments, we'll talk, you know, I'll comment back, and you know, we'll go back and forth on this. But like, I literally want you guys to name a song that Drake featured on and it wasn't a hit or it wasn't on the Billboard 100. You know, like I want to know a song. I don't want to say like this nigga just like helped everybody's careers. Like, no, I don't want to say it like that, but Drake definitely always had his own wave. He always had his own Drake effect, and it's just kind of like the Swift effect, you know, like it's just kind of like what they hopped on, it was hot, and he's always had that. He's never like been fucked up in the game. One thing about it, you know, he's always been on top of his shit. And you know, like Rick Ross came out with this diss track and I was just like, okay, whatever. That was one thing. Number two, he talks about this cease and desist letter that Drake has sent to French Montana, which supposedly, like, he was like, in the song, he's like, yeah, you sent a cease and desist to French Montana to hate on my bro's project, blah blah blah. And Larry Jackson was on a podcast with Joe Budden, and he confirmed that the cease and desist was very much a real thing, but it was supposed to be preceded like as a joke. He also mentioned, like, I guess other people have different sense of humors, but you know, he fucks with everyone at the end of the day. He doesn't want to be, you know, have it taken like way out of context, but it wasn't supposed to be like that. So I just think that it was really weird that Rick Ross was the one that was like kind of coming for Drake. Like, I understand if him and French Montana are like close, you know, but French Montana, I don't think he's really even like spoke on it like that, you know. So I'm just like, dude, even like Rick Ross, he just dropped a music video yesterday. Like, bro, you are milking the shit now. Like, now you just want fucking attention. Now you just want attention from the shit that's going on. Like, I think you just want to be in the motherfucking, in the mix, respectfully. I love him. Like I said, all these artists that I'm speaking on, I play their music, but at the end of the day, I'm rocking with OVO, and that's just that. Another person that dropped the fucking diss song, Kanye. He dropped the Like That remix. Another good song. It was a good song. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't a good song, but at this point, I just feel like Ye is a hater. You can agree to disagree with me, but I just like, do you want to be cool with Drake or do you not want to be cool with Drake? I think he's so fucking wishy-washy. I was watching a couple interviews, and in those interviews, he was saying that when Drake first started, he was all for Drake. He was there, you know, to help him write, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, like, Drake started changing his energy. And Kanye felt like Drake was starting to feel like he was more superior than him. I personally think it was all in his fucking head and his ego. I mean, that's just my perception. Everyone has a different perception. But the reason why I said that was because in the recent podcast that he did, where he dropped the Like That remix, like for the first time ever, where people heard it, in that interview, you can hear him say, like, I'm God and y'all are just basically he was calling us peasants. Like, we're just like whatever, you know, like he'll say it, y'all can't tell me shit, blah blah blah, you know, which one day y'all gonna stop playing with God. I just don't understand how this man that claims that he's so fucking, you know, this and that with God, and he's holding all these Sunday services, claims that he's God. I don't think he's right in the head, respectfully. I think that we're literally watching somebody suffer from a mental disability, and we're kind of letting it be okay because it's Kanye and it's kind of like a norm to us at this point. But just like him saying all that stuff, I just think it's weird. I just feel like Kanye doesn't know if he wants to be cool with Drake or not. I feel like, you know, a couple years ago, even with the Larry Hoover, he did a benefit concert for Larry Hoover to try to, like, you know, get people to have knowledge on, you know, freeing him, etc., etc. He could have called anybody else. Who did he call? Drake. Why? Because of the Drake effect. He thought it would be so grand that everybody just saw that these motherfuckers could put their difference aside for a good benefit. Bullshit. Whatever. He wants to sit there and do that sappy shit. But when J. Cole came out and was a stand-up dude and apologized to Kendrick for saying, like, bro, you know what, I don't want to do this beef shit, I'm choosing my peas, whatever, you know, if you guys don't know what he said, you guys can look up the TikTok clip, because TikTok, I love TikTok. I don't know, I feel like this was a pretty decent lengthy episode compared to the other ones. Hopefully next time I won't have to be in the dark. Hopefully the video won't be too horrible. If not, I'll just probably have to upload the audio. But I mean, yeah, I'm so glad that I got this episode out. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, but I feel like I pretty much covered everything. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. I'm going to be posting clips, and I'll keep you guys updated. The information for that I can miss with my friend Estefani and State Farm will be linked in the description and also on my social media page. So yeah, also I had mentioned it before, but if you want to be a guest on the podcast, hit me up on social media. We can definitely set a time. If you don't have time to come out to my setup, you know, we can definitely do something through Zoom. But I would love for you guys to join in and tap in with me. So hit me up if you want to be a sponsor as well, like State Farm. Shout you out in my episodes. Hit me up. And yeah, till then, I'll see you guys.